Have you ever wished for a quick way to change your life? Something so simple, yet so powerful, it could transform your whole day in just 60 seconds? Well, get ready, because that's exactly what we're diving into today. We're not talking about some complex ritual or hard-to-follow technique. No, this is something anyone can do, anywhere, anytime. It's a special phrase that, when said for just 1 minute a day, can completely shift your mindset and your life. This isn't just any ordinary saying. It's a carefully crafted affirmation from one of the most influential teachers of positive thinking, Louise Hay. Now, you might be wondering, how can a few words make such a big difference? That's the beauty of it. It's not about the number of words or how long you say them. It's about the power behind them and how they can rewire your brain for success and happiness. Imagine waking up every morning and having a tool that could instantly boost your mood, increase your confidence, and set you up for a great day. That's what we're talking about here. It's like having a secret weapon against negativity, doubt, and fear. And the best part? It only takes 60 seconds of your day. That's less time than it takes to brush your teeth or make a cup of coffee. But here's the thing. This isn't just about feeling good for a moment. The effects of this practice can ripple through your entire life, changing how you see yourself, how you interact with others, and even how you approach challenges. It's like planting a tiny seed of positivity that grows into a mighty tree of self-belief and inner strength. Now, let's talk about the amazing woman behind this powerful technique, Louise Hay. If you haven't heard of her before, you're in for a treat. Louise Hay wasn't just any self-help guru. She was a pioneer in the field of self-development and a true believer in the power of positive thinking. Louise's own life story is pretty incredible. She overcame a troubled childhood, battled cancer, and went on to help millions of people transform their lives. How? Through the power of affirmations and positive self-talk. She discovered that the words we say to ourselves have a huge impact on our lives, our health, and our happiness. Louise Hay believed that many of our problems, whether they're physical, emotional, or mental, stem from negative thought patterns. She taught that by changing these patterns, we could change our lives. It's like reprogramming a computer, but instead of changing code, we're changing the way we talk to ourselves. What made Louise's teaching so special was how simple and accessible they were. She didn't use complicated jargon or hard-to-understand concepts. Instead, she offered straightforward, easy-to-use tools that anyone could apply to their life. And that's exactly what we're exploring today, one of her most powerful and easy-to-use techniques. So what's this magical phrase that Louise Hay shared with the world? Here it is. I love myself, I trust myself, and I am enough. Simple, right? But don't let its simplicity fool you. These words pack a powerful punch when it comes to transforming your mindset and your life. Let's break it down a bit. I love myself. How often do we actually say this to ourselves? In a world that often teaches us to be critical of ourselves, declaring self-love is a radical act. It's about accepting yourself fully, flaws and all. Next, I trust myself. This part is all about building confidence in your own decisions and abilities. It's saying that you believe in yourself and your capacity to handle whatever life throws your way. Finally, I am enough. These three words counter the feeling of not being good enough that so many of us struggle with. It's a declaration that you don't need to change or improve to be worthy. You're already complete and valuable just as you are. Now you might be thinking, can saying these words really make a difference? The answer is a resounding yes. Here's why. Our brains are incredibly powerful, but they're also very susceptible to the messages we feed them. When we constantly tell ourselves negative things like, I'm not good enough, or I can't do this, our brains start to believe it. It becomes our reality. But the reverse is also true. When we consistently feed our brains positive messages, they start to believe those too. It's like creating new pathways in your brain, new ways of thinking about yourself and your abilities. Over time, these new pathways become stronger and more natural, while the old negative ones start to fade away. This is where the power of repetition comes in. By saying this phrase to yourself every day, you're reinforcing these positive beliefs. You're training your brain to think differently about you. It's like working out a muscle. The more you do it, the stronger it gets. But Louise Hay didn't just come up with this phrase randomly. Each part of it addresses a key area where many people struggle. Self-love, self-trust, and self-worth are foundational to our overall well-being and success in life. By focusing on these areas, this affirmation helps to build a strong, positive self-image from the inside out. It's important to note that this isn't about denying reality or pretending everything is perfect. It's about choosing to focus on your inherent worth and capabilities, even when things are tough. It's about building resilience and a positive outlook that can help you navigate life's challenges more effectively. So, how exactly do you use this phrase? Louise Hay recommended saying it to yourself for just 1 minute each day. That might not sound like much, but remember, consistency is key here. It's better to do it for 1 minute every day than to do it for an hour once a week. You can say it out loud or in your head, whatever feels more comfortable for you. Some people like to say it while looking in the mirror, making eye contact with themselves. Others prefer to close their eyes and focus inward. There's no right or wrong way. The important thing is to find what works for you and stick with it. As you say these words, really try to feel them. Don't just repeat them mindlessly. Think about what each part means to you. What does it feel like to love yourself, to trust yourself, to know that you are enough? The more you can connect emotionally with the words, the more powerful they become. You might find that at first it feels a bit strange or uncomfortable. That's completely normal. Many of us aren't used to speaking to ourselves in such a positive way. If you feel resistance or disbelief, that's okay. Just keep going. Over time, it will start to feel more natural and true. Remember, this isn't about forcing yourself to believe something you don't. It's about opening yourself up to the possibility that these statements could be true. It's about giving yourself permission to love, trust, and accept yourself. As you practice this affirmation, you might start to notice changes in how you think and feel. You might find yourself being kinder to yourself when you make mistakes. You might feel more confident in making decisions. You might start to recognize your own worth more easily. These changes might be subtle at first, but over time, they can lead to significant shifts in your life. You might find yourself taking more risks, pursuing your dreams more confidently, or handling challenges with greater ease, all from just 1 minute a day of positive self-talk. But here's the really exciting part. The benefits of this practice can extend beyond just how you feel about yourself. When you start to love, trust, and accept yourself more, it can change how you interact with the world around you. You might find your relationships improving as you're able to set healthier boundaries and communicate more confidently. You might perform better at work as you trust in your abilities more. You might even find that you attract more positive experiences and people into your life. It's like creating a ripple effect of positivity that starts with you and spreads outward. And it all begins with just 1 minute a day and a simple phrase: I love myself, I trust myself, and I am enough. So, are you ready to give it a try? Remember, the key is consistency. Set aside 1 minute each day, maybe right after you wake up or before you go to bed, and say these words to yourself. Give it a week, or even better, a month, and see what changes you notice in your life. This simple practice, taught by Louise Hay, has the power to transform lives. It's not about grand gestures or complicated techniques. It's about small, consistent actions that add up to big changes over time. It's about harnessing the power of your own mind and words to create the life you want. Think about it. What could your life look like if you truly loved yourself, trusted yourself, and knew deep down that you were enough? How would you act differently? What would you dare to do or be? This 1 minute practice is your first step towards finding out. Remember, change doesn't happen overnight. Be patient with yourself. Some days you might not feel the words at all. Other days, they might bring tears to your eyes. Both are okay. The important thing is to keep going, to keep affirming these truths about yourself day after day. As you embark on this journey, know that you're joining countless others who have found power and transformation through Louise Hay's teachings. People from all walks of life have used this simple technique to overcome self-doubt, heal from past hurts, and create lives filled with more joy, love, and success. You have that same power within you. You have the ability to shape your thoughts, your beliefs, and ultimately your life. And it all starts with just 1 minute a day. 1 minute to remind yourself of your inherent worth and capabilities. 1 minute to plant seeds of self-love and confidence that will grow and flourish over time. So why not start now? Take a deep breath, center yourself, and repeat after Louise Hay. I love myself, I trust myself, and I am enough. Feel the words, let them sink in. Let them start to work their magic in your life. You might be wondering, how can saying a few words to myself really make a difference? Well, let's dive into the fascinating science behind this powerful practice. When you repeat positive affirmations, like Louise Hay's phrase, you're actually doing some pretty incredible things to your brain. First off, you're creating new neural pathways. Every time you think a thought or say a word, your brain fires off neurons in a specific pattern. The more you repeat a thought or phrase, the stronger that neural pathway becomes. It's like carving a path through a forest. The more you walk it, the clearer and easier to follow it becomes. When you consistently say, I love myself, I trust myself, and I am enough, you're creating and strengthening positive neural pathways. Over time, these pathways become your brain's go-to routes. This means that positive thoughts about yourself become more automatic and natural. But it's not just about creating new pathways. It's also about weakening the old, negative ones. Many of us have spent years thinking negative thoughts about ourselves. These negative pathways are well-worn and easy for our brains to follow. By focusing on positive affirmations, we're giving those old pathways less attention and energy. It's like letting an unused trail in the forest slowly get overgrown. Another amazing thing that happens is that your brain starts to look for evidence to support your new beliefs. This is called the reticular activating system, RAS, at work. Your RAS acts like a filter for your brain, deciding what information to pay attention to out of the countless stimuli you encounter every day. When you start affirming that you love yourself, trust yourself, and are enough, your RAS starts looking for proof that these statements are true. You might start noticing more of your positive qualities, remembering your past successes more easily, or recognizing the ways people show they value you. It's not that these things weren't there before. You're just more tuned in to noticing them now. This practice also helps to reduce stress and anxiety. When you regularly remind yourself of your worth and capabilities, you're better equipped to handle life's challenges. Instead of immediately jumping to self-doubt or fear when faced with a difficult situation, you're more likely to approach it with confidence and self-assurance. Now, you might be thinking, 1 minute? How can that be enough? This is where the genius of Louise Hay's approach really shines. The 1-minute rule makes this practice accessible and doable for everyone, no matter how busy or stressed you might be. 1 minute is short enough that it doesn't feel overwhelming. It's a commitment almost anyone can make. You don't need to rearrange your schedule or set aside a large chunk of time. It's about the same amount of time it takes to brush your teeth or wait for your coffee to brew. But don't let the brevity fool you. This 1 minute can be incredibly powerful when used consistently. It's not about the length of time, but the regularity and the focus you bring to that minute. Think about it this way. If you were to lift a heavy weight for just 1 minute every day, over time, you'd start to see changes in your muscle strength. The same principle applies here, but instead of building physical muscle, you're building mental and emotional strength. The 1-minute rule also plays into the psychology of habit formation. Research shows that one of the best ways to form a new habit is to make it so easy that you can't say no. 1 minute is easy, it's doable. And because it's so doable, you're more likely to stick with it. This consistency is key. Doing something for 1 minute every day is often more effective than doing it for an hour once a week. It keeps the practice fresh in your mind and allows for daily reinforcement of these positive messages. Moreover, the 1-minute rule helps to combat perfectionism and all-or-nothing thinking. You don't have to do it perfectly or for a long time. You just have to do it. This can be especially helpful for people who tend to put off self-care or personal development because they feel they don't have enough time or aren't doing it right. You might be wondering, can 1 minute really make a difference? The answer is a resounding yes, and here's why. It's all about the cumulative effect, the power of small actions repeated consistently over time. Think about a dripping faucet. 1 drop of water doesn't seem like much, but leave that faucet dripping for days, weeks, or months, and you'll end up with a significant amount of water. Your 1-minute practice works in a similar way. Each individual session might not feel earth-shattering, but over time the effects add up to create significant change. Let's break it down. 1 minute a day doesn't sound like much, right? But look at it this way. That's 7 minutes a week, about 30 minutes a month, and 365 minutes, or 6 hours, in a year. That's 6 hours of focused, positive self-talk. When you look at it like that, it starts to seem a lot more impactful, doesn't it? But it's not just about the total time. It's about creating a daily touchstone for positivity. By taking this minute each day, you're giving yourself a regular reminder of your worth and capabilities. You're setting a positive tone that can influence the rest of your day. This daily practice also helps to create what psychologists call a priming effect. Priming is when exposure to one stimulus influences how you respond to another stimulus. By priming yourself with positive self-talk each day, you're more likely to approach situations throughout your day from a more positive, confident mindset. Another reason why this 1 minute matters so much is that it serves as a pattern interrupter. Many of us have ingrained patterns of negative self-talk that play on repeat in our minds. By intentionally taking a minute each day to say something positive to yourself, you're interrupting that negative pattern. Over time, this can help to reduce the frequency and impact of negative self-talk. The 1 minute practice also leverages the power of intention. By setting aside this time each day, you're making a conscious decision to focus on self-love and positive affirmation. This intentional act sends a powerful message to your subconscious mind about what you value and what you're committed to. Moreover, this practice can serve as a foundation for further personal growth. As you get comfortable with this 1 minute practice, you might find yourself naturally extending it. You might start catching negative self-talk throughout the day and replacing it with positive affirmations. You might find yourself more open to other self-care practices or personal development techniques. Remember, big changes often start with small steps. This 1 minute practice might seem small, but it has the potential to create ripple effects throughout your life. It's a seed of change that, when nurtured daily, can grow into something truly transformative. So, don't underestimate the power of this 1 minute. It's a small investment of time that can yield big returns in terms of your mental health, self-esteem, and overall well-being. It's a simple yet powerful tool for creating positive change in your life, 1 minute at a time. When to say it, finding your perfect moment. Timing can be everything when it comes to creating new habits, and this 1 minute practice is no exception. While Louise Hay's affirmation can be powerful at any time of day, many people find that certain times work best for them. Let's explore some options to help you find your perfect moment. Many people swear by starting their day with positive affirmations. There's something powerful about setting a positive tone first thing in the morning. Before you check your phone, before you start thinking about your to-do list, take that 1 minute to remind yourself of your worth. It's like putting on a suit of emotional armor before you face the day. Others prefer to use this practice as a midday reset. If you find yourself feeling stressed or overwhelmed around lunchtime, taking a minute to recenter and affirm your self-worth can be incredibly refreshing. It's like hitting a reset button on your mood and outlook. Some people find that evening works best for them. As you're winding down for the day, this practice can help you let go of any stress or negativity you've accumulated. It can set you up for a more peaceful night's sleep and help you wake up the next day feeling more positive. The truth is, there's no one-size-fits-all answer. The best time is the time that works consistently for you. It might take some experimentation to find what feels right. You might even find that you prefer to do it at different times on different days, depending on your schedule. The key is to find a time when you can give it your full attention. This practice is most effective when you can really focus on the words and their meaning rather than rushing through it while multitasking. Some people like to tie this practice to an existing habit to help them remember. For example, you might say your affirmation while brushing your teeth, waiting for your coffee to brew, or right after you finish your workout. This can help make the practice feel more natural and automatic over time. Remember, consistency is more important than perfection. If you miss your usual time, don't stress about it. Just find another minute in your day to fit it in. The goal is to make this a regular part of your routine, not to add another source of pressure to your life. What to expect: the journey of self-transformation. As you embark on this journey of daily affirmations, it's natural to wonder what kind of changes you might see. While everyone's experience is unique, there are some common patterns that many people notice as they continue this practice. In the beginning, you might not feel much of a difference. In fact, you might even feel a bit silly or skeptical. This is completely normal. Our brains are used to our old thought patterns, and it can take time for new ones to feel natural. Don't let this discourage you. Keep going, even if it feels strange at first. After a week or two of consistent practice, you might start to notice small shifts. Maybe you catch yourself in a moment of self-doubt and remember your affirmation. Or perhaps you find it a little easier to accept a compliment without deflecting it. These small moments are signs that your new thought patterns are starting to take root. As you continue, you might notice bigger changes. Many people report feeling more confident in their decisions and actions. You might find yourself speaking up more in meetings or setting boundaries more easily in relationships. You could notice a general increase in your mood and outlook on life. Some people experience what feels like a breakthrough moment, where they suddenly feel a deep connection to the words they're saying. This can be a powerful and emotional experience. But don't worry if you don't have this kind of dramatic moment. Change often happens gradually and subtly. Over time, you might notice that your self-talk throughout the day becomes more positive. The voice in your head that used to criticize you harshly might become gentler and more supportive. You might find yourself naturally extending more compassion to yourself in difficult moments. It's important to remember that this journey isn't always linear. You might have days or even weeks where you feel like you're backsliding. This is a normal part of any change process. The key is to keep going, even on the tough days. Also, be prepared for some resistance from your old thought patterns. As you start to change your self-image, you might encounter what psychologists call cognitive dissonance, a discomfort that comes from holding conflicting beliefs. This can sometimes manifest as increased self-doubt or negative self-talk. If this happens, it's actually a sign that your affirmations are working. They're challenging your old beliefs. To get the most out of this powerful practice, here are some tips to keep in mind. Say it with feeling. Don't just recite the words mechanically. Really try to connect with their meaning. Imagine how it feels to truly love yourself, trust yourself, and know that you are enough. Use a mirror. Many people find it powerful to say their affirmations while looking at themselves in the mirror. This can feel uncomfortable at first, but it can really enhance the impact of the practice. Personalize it. While Louise Hay's affirmation is powerful as it is, feel free to adapt it to resonate more with you. You might add specific qualities you want to affirm about yourself. Write it down. In addition to saying your affirmation, try writing it down each day. This engages different parts of your brain and can reinforce the message. Use reminders. Set an alarm on your phone or put a sticky note somewhere you'll see it to remind you of your daily practice. Be patient. Remember, you're rewiring years of thought patterns. It takes time. Be patient and kind with yourself as you go through this process. Combine with other practices. This affirmation can be a great addition to other mindfulness or self-care practices like meditation or journaling. Notice the changes. Keep an eye out for small, positive changes in your thoughts, feelings, and behaviors. Recognizing these can help motivate you to continue. Don't give up. If you miss a day or feel like it's not working, don't give up. Just pick up where you left off. Consistency over time is what creates lasting change. As we wrap up our exploration of Louise Hay's powerful 1-minute practice, let's take a moment to reflect on the journey we've discussed. We've delved into the transformative power of positive affirmations, understood how just 1 minute a day can rewire our brains for positivity, and explored the cumulative effects of this simple yet profound practice. Remember the phrase, "I love myself, I trust myself, and I am enough," is more than just a collection of words. It's a declaration of your inherent worth,